Hello, everybody. So today we're talking about a fairly baffling case. Today we're talking about the case of Prisma Reyes. This one is weird for a lot of different reasons, and you're going to understand when I go through it. But I don't have a whole lot of information on this case, but all the links I used for research will be down below, like always. There will also be a link to my other podcast, Wicked, if you would like to check that out. But yeah, let's go ahead and get into this, because I want to tell you about Prisma. So she is a 26-year-old single mother, and at the time that this was going on, her life was going through some changes. She had ended a tumultuous relationship, she had lost her job, she started a new job, and she was also kind of rekindling with an ex. So there was a lot of stuff going on at this time. And I want to say that when I was doing my research, I couldn't really find anything about Prisma. So I apologize. So it's really just going to be what I know about the case. And on April 17th, 2019, in Mesquite, Texas, she would mysteriously go missing, and we still have no answers about what happened that day. On April 17th, that was the last time that she was ever seen or heard from again. She left her car dealership job for her lunch break at noon and never returned. She had lunch with an ex-boyfriend at the E-Bar Tex-Mex restaurant on North Haskell Avenue in Dallas, Texas. And I'm not sure if this is the ex that she was supposedly rekindling with or if it was just another ex. I'm not entirely sure. I never saw a name or anything like that. But they got into an argument while they were there, and he eventually left, but she stayed there and continued drinking for about 3 hours. So I can only assume that the reason why she never went back to work, because we know nobody's lunch break is 3 hours, she probably just got drunk and said fuck it. After this, the bartender refused to serve her any more alcohol, and there was what is referred to as a, quote, verbal disturbance, and she was asked to leave. And I will have photos on the screen, and I don't think there was any photos of like the actual altercation or anything like that, but there are photos of her at the bar drinking, and I will have those on the screen. I'm not sure if there was any photos of her with the ex in question, but if so, I will include those. After all of this, and she's asked to leave, uh, later on, she was in her vehicle when she was involved in a road rage incident with another driver, and because of this, police ended up being called to the scene, but by the time they arrived, she had left. I'm not sure if she was the one that caused the road rage, if it was someone else, if what kind of fight it was. I'm not sure. All I know is that it was bad enough that the police were called, and I'm not sure if she just, because, she was drinking and technically drinking and driving, she just didn't want to be there when they showed up, so she left. And that's why, I don't know, she was clearly not in the right state of mind. But after that, she was last seen on surveillance cameras running into the parking garage of the Olympus at Ross apartment building in the 3500 block of Roseland Avenue. So her ex-boyfriend lived in the building, but he wasn't home when she got there. And I will also have photos on the screen of her in this parking garage. And I can only assume that the ex-boyfriend living there is the one that she is rekindling the romance with and just had lunch with and got into an argument with. That I can only assume that that's the same one. Like I said, I never found a name, so maybe I'm wrong. So I can only assume that it's the same guy. But he was allegedly not there when she got there. Surveillance would show her talking on her cell phone, swaying back and forth, and she would make 9 short phone calls between 5:49 and 6:01 p.m. Five of which were to her boyfriend. And when I was going back and forth in articles, um, the boyfriend was mentioned a couple times. I don't know if they actually meant the ex-boyfriend, who she is rekindling her relationship with, and therefore they're calling him the boyfriend. I can only assume that maybe it could be the same person, because other articles were saying that she was a single mom, so I can only assume that they're just referring to the same guy. The second to last call was to a friend. She was in the elevator of the building at the time, crying, saying that she needed help and that she was confused. Her friend was unable to help her. I believe her friend was like not even in the same state at the time. But oddly enough, Prisma was not seen leaving the building and she was never seen again. And that is why I was so baffled by this. So she's in a place where there's a lot of security cameras, obviously, but she's never seen leaving the building again. She didn't pick up her 6-year-old son from the babysitter at 7:30 p.m. like she normally was, like that is their agreed upon time. She never showed up. So at 9:30 p.m., the babysitter reported her missing. And the next day, Prisma's white 2017 Jeep Wrangler was found at the apartment, at the Olympus at Ross apartments. Her family says that she wouldn't just abandon her child, like she really loved her son, and you can see it in photos that she's a very like loving mother. She seems so happy. So they said that this is like not normal for her. As well as working at the car dealership, she had a job as a paralegal and she served in the National Guard. And I will have photos of her in her uniform. She was originally from Veracruz, Mexico, and she became a U.S. citizen only a few years prior to this. Unfortunately, at this time, this is all the information I have about Prisma. We do have a description. Like I said, she was 26 at the time, 5'2", 135 pounds, with brown hair and eyes. She had pierced ears, a tattoo on her shoulder, and she was last seen wearing a red short-sleeved polo shirt with black stripes on the shoulders and sleeves, light blue denim capri pants, and black sneakers with white soles. She was also carrying a large black purse. Anybody with any information is urged to contact the Mesquite Police Department at 972-285-6336. And that's the case of Prisma Reyes. So, I feel like if she's not seen leaving the building, maybe she is somewhere in there. And I know you might be thinking, well, there's no way that this building has cameras pointed in every direction, so maybe she just went out from a side or from a door or something that she wasn't captured, and maybe after leaving she might have disappeared somewhere else. But I feel like, I don't know, something just makes me feel like she never did leave. I feel like, and I'm not saying it's him because we don't have that kind of information, but they're rekindling this relationship supposedly. They're out having lunch, they're drinking, they start an argument. He takes off, and then she goes to his apartment building. And I'm doing this all under the assumption that it's the same person. And then she's making all these phone calls to him while she's there. And then suddenly she's just not seen leaving the building. I don't know. I kind of feel like maybe he might have done something to her. I know he wasn't there at the time that she was, but he could have easily have come home. She could have been waiting for him, and he could have done something to her. Or she was talking to her friend saying, like, she's confused, she needs help, like, she's not in the right state of mind, and she's in this giant apartment building. Honestly, anybody there could have done anything to her. There's probably plenty of creeps that live in that building. And maybe someone did something to her, and I don't know, maybe her body is there somewhere. I don't know. Her family says that she wouldn't just abandon her child, so it stands to reason that she wouldn't have just left. I do think she was taken against her will, and I do have a feeling that foul play plays a role here. I don't know. It's baffling to me when someone is seen on security cameras everywhere, and then they're in a place, and then they're just never seen leaving that place. Like, it gives me the chills, because, like, where did they go? People don't just disappear. But that's just what I think, my personal opinion. Please let me know your thoughts down below, like always. Thank you so much for listening to Prisma's story, and I will see you guys very soon. Bye, guys.